Hi Libra, welcome to Higher Source Tarot for a 4-month predictive reading, tarot reading for all Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is for the months of September, October, November, and December, all right? So we'll look ahead a little bit and see what the cards have to say. I do want to thank all of you for watching the readings and hitting that like button. When you give a video a thumbs up, it does something to the YouTube algorithm so that YouTube puts the video and suggests it to more people. So thank you for doing that. And also too for subscribing. It really means a lot to me. And if you're new, I'd love to invite you to join us by becoming a subscriber. I do readings every Friday, and then I post another type of reading again on Monday or Tuesday, so twice a week. So if a reading doesn't resonate, you can always check later, a couple days later, and there will be a brand new reading, and maybe that will be your storyline. So always somebody's reading, but it's not always everybody's, okay? So let's begin. Let's get the guidance, please, for Libra. What does Libra need to know? What does Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus need to know for the highest good of all concerned with Libra? What does Libra need to know? Okay. So we'll go month by month, and we'll use a couple of clarifiers from the bottom of the deck. And we'll begin with September, okay? So you start off here, you've got the Four of Swords, Judgment, the Page of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. In October, you have the Three of Pentacles, the Moon, the Sun, interesting, and the Nine of Wands. In November, you have the Five of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, the King of Wands, in the World. You start off December with the Eight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Wands, and then you end with the Ten of Cups. Now the bottom of the deck, I always take these three. You've got, I like this, you've got the King of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Emperor, all right? So I do feel like you have some interesting energy here. It's like you've got something in here that you're moving on from, and you're beginning a new cycle. There's a transition coming here, and you're moving on to some better things. But I do feel like there's sort of this sense of loyalty or connection that it's a little tough to let go of. So you have air here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You have water, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You've got all the elements. So Aries, Leo, Sag, and of course, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You also have Leo and Pisces and Aries represented in major arcana, so if that's who you're dealing with. But I do always find this interesting when you have the moon right next to the sun, you know, because the moon always reflects the sun. So we'll talk about that, but I definitely feel like there's a big transition happening here. You're releasing something, all right? You are releasing something that doesn't serve you. So to walk free of it. So you start off here with the Four of Swords, and here you are lying in repose. And it's really an energy about going within, but it's also, interestingly enough, even though this can be about meditation and really connecting with your higher self, it's, you know, it's a card of growth, all right? It's a card of stepping away from any battles. And there is, towards the end, you just have, I guess, the one, but you're leaving behind, you know, he's got his swords hanging up and one on the table here because he doesn't want any battles. It really is about taking a look at the landscape and thinking about what really matters in your life. And I think especially with, you know, being on the heels of this pandemic, a lot of people are doing that. But it's a really calming energy. It's just kind of letting things be. And then also for some people, I don't normally read this this way, but I'm getting it for somebody. It really is a time where you need to recharge, rest, sleep. Some of you have not been sleeping well. And this is going to be a time to get that better regulated so you're getting some sleep at night. This can also be going to a therapist or getting an outside, some kind of outside support. But I do feel like it's very much about taking that break and getting in sync with who you really are. Now, you have here the Judgment card, which shows up. And this is, you know, in terms of a well-developed energy, this is one that is. It's mature energy, but it's really about forgiveness. I feel like whatever retreat you do here helps you to ascend, to move on to some better things. And some people are just not going to be your vibrational match at the end of this quarter. There's going to be some people that are going to be exiting, and it's not going to be painful for you. I don't see that. I just see it as you grow, you're able to let go of things and, you know, really forgive, forget, move on. But it brings in this beautiful energy. It brings in this period of rejoicing and of really a celebratory energy that comes in, and it's really about you moving on to the next phase. Now, it could be too with work. That's possible. You know, you've got the Page of Swords here, so I do feel like there's some communication that comes in that pushes the idea along. You know, with the Page of Swords, he's not the greatest communicator, so it certainly could be, you know, it could be something that's hasn't been known to you that gets revealed too. That's possible, that it's really about giving you some kind of information. He does, as all the pages do, he does bring in an offer, or he can even be like a reward for something that you've done, and that certainly could be tied to Judgment, whereby taking this break and getting, you know, being able to release some things, there's something that shows up in its place that's even better. And that ties in with the Eight of Cups. You walk away from something that's not terrible. I mean, it's, you know, all the cups are upright. It's like walking away from a situation that was okay, but it really was not fulfilling. It was not completely fulfilling. So if for some reason you've been in a relationship or at a job that's been fine, but you really want more for yourself, you will be moving on. And again, anytime the moon and sun show up in cards, this is always a blessing. And here you do have the moon. So even though it is kind of a dreary looking card, you're working on yourself, investing in yourself. And it does feel very much like mind, body, spirit, because you do have the King of Cups here. And he is the king of self-improvement, all right? So some of you may be doing things like you're listening to a lot of lectures on YouTube. Some of the older stuff, maybe Neville Goddard or Abraham Hicks or some other kind of teacher, Deepak Chopra, something like that. Even Eckhart Tolle, that comes into mind. Listening to things, reading books, ascending, and really allowing yourself to access who you really are, you know, allowing that to happen. Because you have it here too with the Eight of Pentacles, about working on yourself. And you know, and now if this is another person, then that would apply to them, but it does feel more like you to me, that you're the one that's really investing in yourself and working on yourself. So in October, you're definitely bringing in commitments. So if there's been some instability, and in September you were kind of collecting yourself, you're going to bring in something new. And it feels like where work is concerned, there's new offers showing up, material offers that will be better paying. There could be some extra responsibility with it, that you are getting paid, but it is more work. I'm going to be honest with you. But you know, a lot of people see that as part of a trajectory of a career, right? The CEO may have more responsibility than somebody that works in the mailroom. That's normal. That's part of making more money. So, but it's a great union. You've got a great team atmosphere here. But with a relationship too, it does feel like there's a commitment coming. You've got an offer coming in. That somebody wants more here. It feels more like new love. I don't really see anything here that tells me reconciliation is on the way. I did have that in another reading though. It seems like it was either Cancer or Leo maybe, if you have that in your chart and you're looking for reconciliation, because it's not a predominant part of this reading, but this is definitely a card of further opportunities coming in. and new beginnings. All right. So, you know, it's building a foundation here for sure. So if you've had a relationship or something that you've been talking to someone, there's a foundation in the works. And, you know, with the Moon card, secrets can be revealed. And, you know, with the Page of Swords showing up there too, this could very well be a time where things have been confusing, but you get clarity because right after it, you know, you got the Sun, right? So this is an interesting pairing because with the Moon features the Yods, which is the first letter of the name of God in Hebrew, and those are gifts from the universe. The Moon reflects or mirrors the Sun, and on this card you see the Sun is in the Moon, right? Or the Moon is actually in the Sun. So whenever you have the Sun show up in a reading, it's a blessing to you, but it's also clarity. There's an unconditional regard with the Sun. Nothing can hide in the Sun. The sun does not choose or elect to shine on certain things and not on others. It doesn't even say, well, that needs mostly shade, I better not. It just shines on everything. So any confusion or anything hidden is going to come out. The Moon card's also about setting your intentions, so be clear about those. You know, so you have something coming forward that is going to yield victory and success. You certainly, with the Emperor too, you've got this energy of great confidence, great skill, intellect, and an ability to really make anything happen. So for those of you that have been, you know, considering doing some kind of blog or something to use your skill with writing and communication and featuring some talent that you have, you would be very well served doing that. It would end up being something that is profitable. You know, for somebody here, I even get designing tarot cards, like publishing your own deck. And again, these things are yours to do. I mean, they really are. If you can see it in your mind, you can have it in your reality, and you have all the energy to do it. But the Sun also brings about great freedom. You know, there's freedom and a new happiness here as you go forward. It's a hell yes. I mean, it's an infinitely positive energy around you, Libra. So, you know, for some of you, you've been through it with this Nine of Wands. You know, he's a wounded warrior and he has a psychic wound, right? He keeps that bandage on his head. And there's kind of a protective energy. And I do feel like that may be a factor in relationships where there's kind of this protective energy, not wanting to let your guard down, but you're going to need to. And in order to bring in somebody new, you know, it doesn't mean that they don't have to work for it a little bit, but be open, all right? Be open to the possibilities because you can use those wounds as wisdom. You know, this really is about, and you actually have that later in the reading where you do use your wounds as wisdom. So you've got a change coming. You've got it a couple of times here, a change in a new cycle. So, you know, with this Five of Cups, you know, it's a bit of a down energy, right? And it can be having some kind of disappointment, but if you turn your back on the emptiness, you'll find fulfillment, all right? So if there's something that shows up, and this is in November, or there's some sort of melancholy period, this really, the best medicine for that is appreciation. You know, it's all, the fives are all about change though, and really keeping a positive mindset. So if you find too that you're around negative people, it may be important to shift your focus and really pay attention to the 6 people that you're around the most. Because you also have an offer coming in, and it's, you know, it's an offer of stability. There's certainly financial stability here. You know, it's money, but it's also a commitment. So I do feel like you have somebody coming in, something new that wants long-term happiness with you. You know, and it's kind of an interesting page because this one is actually a little more sensible for the pages. He focuses on that pentacle. He stares at it. He admires it. So I do feel for every of coming towards you, they admire you. They see you as being very innovative in work too. Like you've got this innovative quality that's, you know, not always the most tangible thing. It's not like something that can just be taught. It's this given gift that you've been able to or are cultivating. And people admire that in you, Libra. It's, you know, too, I think with this King of Swords, excuse me, Wands, you have this energy coming through where you are taking action, right? It's like this focused action moving forward, but you're a leader and very in this energy of a lot of confidence, all right? So I do feel like for work, it's going to go really well. I do still, again, feel like this has to do more with work, these three together. However, you go into this new cycle with the world, and this is where I do feel like this, again, picks up with some kind of new cycle in terms of, you know, passion and not just all focus on work and money. That there's, you know, she's the dancer of the tarot. She's free. This is not somebody who's chained to a desk job. She works on her own time. She's free and really living her best life. It's a life without limits here. So in a relationship, it's very passionate. It's passionate. It's got fiery energy to it. And there's freedom and success in a vision, right? Pain pushes until the vision pulls. So with her too, she's also the last major arcana. And what I like about that is it's the soul ascended. So this is a very well-developed energy. By the time you finish November and move into December, you have a very well-developed energy to give you some momentum to go through into really into the next year. So it's, you're manifesting some things too. You're really manifesting some your heart's desires. Now you show up here with the Eight of Swords, and what I do feel like this are some people around you. All these swords are people around you, and there are definitely some people who are giving more than their fair share of advice on something, and it certainly could be in a relationship. But it's really not their advice to give. It's really not their business, but it does kind of hold you back a little bit. It's, you know, having a committee meeting in your head that holds you hostage. So maybe time to disband those so you can move forward. I do feel like you are able to do that with the Queen of Swords. I like this for you because it's you and your own power. She is the purest form of the element here. And swords too, when the cards were first created, the swords really were for nobility. This is also wealth because at the time the metals were expensive and not only upper class people could garner a sword like this. So, you know, this is a card of great intelligence. For some of you, by the time you get into December, you may be looking at furthering your education, whether it's just like a certificate or it's going back to get more a master's degree or some other form of a degree, because this is a highly intelligent, educated woman, and she also has been hurt though. She uses those wounds, like we talked about with the Nine of Wands, as wisdom. She learns from her past experiences and is able to really discern who to keep in her circle and who needs to go. So as I mentioned, those 6 people, paying attention to that. With this energy, you'll be very adept at figuring out who really is your vibrational match and who isn't. So you have another change card here, and this is about friendly competition. So if you are in a business where you get bids or you get something, it feels like you're going to have a lot of offers and there's competition coming in, but not necessarily against you. It's more like yours to decide, because then you go right into the Ten of Cups here. And the Ten of Cups it's a new cycle, very much like, you know, you've got the World here. So you've got 2 cards of a new cycle, but a beautiful new cycle. And with the Ten of Cups, this is happiness, but it's very subjective. So what do you want? You know, that's yours to decide. And the universe is always on your side to deliver. And that's the interesting thing, because as you create your own reality, the competition against you doesn't really exist because it's yours to design. So with the Ten of Cups, this is also recovery after a storm. And it's telling you that you have blue skies ahead. The stormy times are over, and you're going to walk free as you walk forward. That new things will show up, and there's rejoicing here, but there's also great appreciation and recognizing too when new things are showing up, to acknowledge those, to thank the universe, to acknowledge that the universe works with you. You take one step and the universe takes two and is moving you forward. So great energies for you. I mean, there is a little bit of conflict here, but it's not anything stifling, you know, and especially too, because you're, I mean, it's very minimal really, but, you know, because you're Libra, I do like to see the swords because you're in your own element. So let's see what the angels have to say. So you begin with improving health. So, you know, for those of you too that are, the self-improvement has to do with more of a physical manifestation. You've got the energy coming forward to give you the momentum, that catalyst to move you along into really anything that you want to achieve. If you have been concerned too about your health in general, you really don't need to worry. Helpful people comes in, and this is telling you all the right people will show up. You know, the universe will put in whoever needs to be there to help you facilitate the hows. It's really all your businesses is constructing the what do you want, and the universe moves the how along. It's the universe's business. Let the universe get mired in the details. An opportunity. So with the 10 of Cups in the world and even the sun showing up here, I do feel you've got opportunities showing up here. You've got new opportunities and things that are sustainable. You know, it's long term. It's not just some fleeting, you know, energy that comes in and goes as quickly as it starts. You've definitely got opportunities. So set your intentions. And we'll close with Abraham Hicks, ask and it is given. I now hold the key to creating my every desire. It's not possible to consistently feel positive emotion about something and have it turn out badly, for the way you feel will tell you if you're allowing your natural well-being or not. Once you understand that the way you feel indicates your level of allowing or resisting, you now hold the key to creating anything you desire. So your emotions, your thoughts are part of your consciousness. So that's how we create. So again, you can have, do, or be anything, Libra, and I love you so much, and I'll be back again soon.